Welcome back, everyone. It's a new episode of the Driver Excuses podcast, here with your expert driver excuses. I'm Kevin Hansen, and my other worst half, the brother, 6 years older, world champion of 2019 in Rallycross, and E1 legend, Timmy Hansen. Whoa! Woo! Welcome to the podcast, my brother.
Listen.
Oh,
I should have been faster with that, but thank you. Thank you for the applause,
incredible.
everyone.
Thank you for turn that off. You don't deserve that long applause.
Well, I am doing the sound effects. Yeah, if I can give
it
myself some applause, I'm going to do it. Yeah.
Everyone's lucky in this episode. You might get some nice surprises of sound effects again.
Yeah, we're going to do the sound effects, so stay tuned. Anything can happen.
Okay, wait. I want a reaction for this one, to the opening topic. I've had the first seat time for 5 months.
Wait, I should have. Okay.
Oh,
right. Do it again. I'll do better with it.
I would like to see a really nice reaction of my first test in a car for 5 months.
Fantastic. I'll do the clapping again.
Yeah.
The clapping didn't play. Let's just conclude I'm not good with sound effects, all right?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
well,
you're better at other stuff.
Seriously, though, that's awesome.
It's great. It was so nice. So finally I had a test again. As everyone, knows that see my YouTube channel, we went to Dakar in the beginning of the year. And since then, been working on off-road plans. And finally I got to some seat time. So had my co-driver down with me to get that time. We obviously haven't announced our plans yet, but obviously we want to get into the off-road world, and we're on the cusp of it. We have some delays, financial delays, but that's all good. So we'll get there soon. And then we can all.
You got to drive a race car.
Exactly. Got to drive a race car.
It's always a good day then.
100 kilometers in 3 hours, perfect. But it is double rallycross races within half a day, so it's not too bad. It was so rough. I think you have the same. My collarbones are quite, pointy. They stick out a lot. And from the Hans neck device, they are super sore. Like they're just fully red today. Oh my God. You see a little bit on the screen. It's just so sore. It was so rocky down in south of France where I was testing. Worst every point. It was nice because in rally, right? Like we were doing some pace notes, if you say, or not pace notes, some navigation waypoints and stuff like that. But then we just decided to screw that, and he said drive wherever you want to go. You just take whatever turn you want and you just drive with what you see, and I will tell you how the flow is. And he was like, your flow is great, the pace is great. I think we're ready to rumble. So I was like, perfect. Let's go. Right. I just get everything confirmed and let's go win some races.
That's really cool. That's what you dream of hearing, isn't it? Judge my driving, and they're like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, especially
massive when confidence boost. No excuses needed.
No excuse. And Dennis obviously sits with the world champion Lucas Moraes, and he so hopefully to have the world champion as a reference normally, and to say to myself, that pace was good, we're in a good place. It's nice to hear. So there will be a vlog coming out on my channel about the test. Everyone can have a little look in the coming weeks at some point.
Nice. I'm gonna have a look for sure. That's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, what I'm going to put you on the spot here. Go into your YouTube app and see if you subscribe to my channel.
It's even worse. It's even worse. I didn't know you had a channel.
I'm getting you subscribed.
Kevin Hansen on YouTube. The first thing comes up is
my crash.
How did he save that? Kevin Hansen full 360. That was good times.
That was good times.
But then I think there's the wrong Kevin Hansen comes up when I search for it. Is your name Kevin Hansen 5041?
I don't know.
It's not you on the profile picture, so I highly doubt that.
Let's see.
Well, you got to do some ads or something.
Where am I then?
There, Kevin Hansen 71.
Kevin Hansen, how can blockchain rallycross forever? You're subscribed.
I am subscribed.
Yes, you're lucky. Oh, really? You're just really impressed.
2,000 views on one video, 24 hours at the Dakar Rally. That was when we were both visiting on the rest day in Riyadh during this year's Dakar Rally,
Mm.
and we barely saw each other.
No,
People
I
were like,
know.
"Oh, and how is Kevin? I met him before." I was like, "Oh, did you meet Kevin? I haven't met
Yeah,
Kevin."
I was like, I don't know where they are. Stayed, but we stayed in the same hotel. I literally checked in and walked into your room. Was like, hello. You were having a shower
Yeah.
in the morning. I was like, Timmy, hello. You were like, what are you doing in here? I've not seen you. I've not seen you since before Christmas, and now you're standing in a weird shower in Saudi Arabia. And I was like,
A shower surprise is always a big surprise, isn't it? But
but then
we booked
speaking
the
of,
same hotel.
yeah, exactly. And speaking of
Speaking of,
visits, we have got a very nice time together just recently when you came to see the new member of our family here in the UK.
yeah, we spent the weekend in the Cotswolds, together with you, with Mila, my kid's new cousin. We had a great time, didn't we? I really enjoyed it for sure. You showed us around the area where you spend a lot of time, and just we had some dinner, we had some food. The kids were playing. My kids got to meet their cousin. It was very special.
It was great, and obviously I've spent a lot of time here the last three years as my obviously fiance is English, and it's just easier to spend a lot of time here than for British people to spend a lot of time in the European Union. So it was nice to finally be able to show you where I've been hanging out the last few years. I know we went to so farmhouse, had nice food there. We live in my fiance lives in a very nice area in the Cotswolds. So we got nice things around that we finally could show you. Went to a few pubs. I really enjoyed it. And it's obviously a bit warmer here than in Sweden.
It is a few degrees warmer, but it was also have good weather. But I must say I was surprised with the UK. I haven't spent a lot of time there apart from racing. I've never been to London, for example. I've flown to Heathrow 50 times maybe, but I've never been to London.
I say this
But
is
now we
controversial.
did.
It's one of the one of my favorite airports is Heathrow, but people disagree. But I do think we need to go next time. We're
I would
going to
strongly
London, and
disagree.
I'll show you a few uh, restaurants that I
But
absolutely love.
I did like a few things about the UK. The weather was good actually. It's kind of surprising. Didn't expect that. And
Hashtag climate change.
yeah, sad. And then and then the best thing was probably like going to the pub in the afternoon. It's like not just to get smashed. We had kids there, but just to hang out. Just to hang out. You had a beer. The place was full of kids. People had their dogs with them. It was Easter week, so it was a great time. Like it was like the living room of the village, and yeah, I thought it was great over there. I can't wait to come back now.
That's nice to hear. I mean, that's why I also like spending a lot of time here because you have always stuff to do. There's always you can always find a good vibe and get positive energy. The momentum of people wanting to achieve great success in business and everything is just it's a lot here. Like Swedish culture and English culture, obviously very different. And for a Swede, you're very cautious as a Swede normally. So to get to experience the energy and that there is here, it's inspiring. And that's just what we need in the motorsport world sometimes, because it goes up and down in this world. But it's also like you
Yeah,
know,
we
to me,
we've
it's not a
had
lot of motorsport happening at the moment, is it?
no, but there are some news, including one very interesting news thing that came up on Instagram that that we I'll have to read it to you. Rally X posted with a picture of Rally X Americas that Rally X Americas is pleased to announce its engagement with multiple professional level race teams to establish a more competitive rallycross ecosystem for the 2026 season and beyond. This collaboration is the beginning of a multi-year effort to grow Rally X Americas into a premier rallycross platform. Teams involved in the collaboration will be revealed in the coming days. So they're obviously aiming for taking over the spotlight that Nitrocross had. That has been there hasn't been any top level rallycross in the US for a while now, but there is a real fan base over there, and I think there is need for a championship. So it's very exciting what they've got coming up, and some news that I'm kind of eager to read and to follow to see what's happening in the rallycross world, because this is for rallycross. This is massive. This is huge.
I mean, rallycross in the States have been, on and off since back in 2010, and people trying to make it a success. Been different companies trying to, get in there and make money from it. The Rally X world, I think, what is really enjoyable with that is that it's not prioritized to be a commercially based championship. It's there to be racing. Coming in with some great teams, hopefully, by the sounds of it. I'm thinking, I assume it will be the likes of some of the teams that were in Nitrocross, like DRR, JC, OMSE, of course, like things like that. Really strong teams, maybe some from Europe as well. And getting all together, just doing good rallycross races on cool locations. That would be great to see out there. So I think the US fans love just pure racing, and Rally X is very good at creating just pure racing. So let's see if also that can create a place where people who can afford the racing. Also, they do have some commercial strength, but I'm happy to see there's some rallycross coming back to the States, because no matter what, it's a great sport and it deserves to be in the sporting part of the world, which is America.
Yeah, and the OMSE family, they the Ericssons, they run Rally X, and they have done it with big success, I would say, here in Scandinavia for a long time. And they have been closely integrated with Nitrocross because they were part of developing the FC1, the 1,000 horsepower four-wheel drive car. So for them to do it on their own over in America after their success here in the Scandinavia and in Europe, it's going to be exciting to see what that is.
The question is, because I know
And
from Nitrocross, it costs about 30 million a year to run Nitrocross. Obviously super expensive, and that was really going to kick off. They had great partners coming in, great teams. I mean, the Hansen team, we were about to get in there as well. There was a lot of good movements, but obviously the thing is, I think to make something big in America, you need to spend big to be in the right places and really get the good broadcast, to get the good fans, to get the good experience, because the competition of sport out there is so tough. But also there is dirt oval racing with 20,000 people on the stands, because it's cheaper and fun action all day, and they can just sit there and camp. So maybe the Rally X way will be the correct way to go in with rallycross in the US, and not try and make it too luxury and NFL or F1 way. Just go in and pure racing and be done with it. A bit like British or Portuguese
yeah,
rallycross, which we had over the Easter weekend as well. That kickstarted the rallycross season. There's fans coming to it, they love it. It's just pure racing all day. That's it. Maybe that's exactly what the US needs.
and they did already announce their events as a championship for this year. Obviously, the news in that is that it is the teams part that they're kind of teasing, I guess. But they will begin in June in Crandon in the US with a double header together with the Pro 4 series. So that is kind of similar. We drove in what was the name in Minneapolis in the track,
ERX.
Kevin. Yeah. Which is a Pro 4 track, which also suited the rallycross cars really well. Then they're going to Eldora the weekend after, then Trois-Rivières in Canada, which is a classic rallycross venue. Haven't held a main rallycross event for some time. I think last time was in 2019 when we went there, and I had that disastrous weekend, crashing twice in the qualifiers and missing the semi, which brought like the world championship back together. That's good memories. I have also won there. So, did you know? Fun fact: did you know that I am the only one who has won a world rallycross final from the back row?
Really? I did not
Yeah,
know that. Well done.
it
Where's
was
the
in
applause?
2016 in
Where's the
Canada.
applause button?
Yeah, let me give myself some applause. There we go.
Got to be
Maybe.
sharper. No, it didn't, didn't work yet.
It doesn't play, so I'm not worth it then.
Post edit,
So
maybe post
I can't
editing
even
made it
give
work.
myself. Yeah, yeah. So the story about that race was I didn't even make it into the final from the beginning. We had a disastrous week. The car was horrible on gravel in 2016, and there's a lot of gravel there. And I just went out. I finished fourth in the semi on pace. Like just couldn't follow fourth.
Yeah.
So that was the end of the weekend. But then the driver ahead of me, one of the driver, I think it was Timurchanov, came together with
Yeah.
Heikkinen and got disqualified. So we had prepared the car in these couple, the tight window of time we had there between the semi and the final. We had prepared the car. We went out there as we saw there was an investigation, but so did Seb, my teammate, or our teammate. He also prepared the car, and we were both there ready to take the first place reserve. He was technically the higher place reserve than me, but because the penalty was happening in my semi-final, that promoted me to third in my race, which actually, very, very last second gave me the spot to enter into the final. I was sitting there fully strapped in, ready to go before the decision was made. And during this time also, on top of the carnage of not knowing which of the teammates would make it through to the final, it starts pouring down with rain for the first time during the weekend. So out of nowhere, we tried to throw some rain tires on, and one of our engineers, I remember when I got the go ahead, it's like, it will be me. He just made a clear hand gesture, like, do not move. I need to go under the front of your car, make some clicks on the dampers, like last second to get this car working. Anyway, pulled up, last one on the grid. And when you make your tire clean and line up as sixth, it's not a long time before the green light. So I kind of
No.
did that, rushed into my position. And I was thinking during the being on the rev limiter that, shit, I haven't thought about how to drive in the wet. Usually you kind of mentally prepare a bit. It's like, yeah, let's just send it. So I had some kind of start, and it turned out I just had mega pace all of a sudden. Just caught
It's like
people, overtook
the car
people.
was made for that, not dry.
Yeah, maybe we had just had a rain setup the whole
A
weekend.
whole
But
year.
yeah, I overtook people, and then last lap there was some joker lap. Like I was overtaking, I was second, and then someone took the joker lap. I came out in front on the last lap and won the race. And yeah, that was the only time that someone managed to win from the back row. It says a lot about how hard it is to move up the field in rallycross. It's not hard to make an overtake, but to make multiple ones during such a short race
Yeah, to make
was kind of
five
rare.
five overtakes, 5 laps or whatever it is in the finals these days. It's
Yeah.
a big ask. Also, you have to gain a lot of time because obviously when it's like in any racing, when you have a field of cars, obviously when there's a stack of cars, the first to the fifth, there will be a time difference. So to gain also the time while overtaking is extreme high, difficulty. But I think you had a really good start, and then you just had a really good. Everything just worked out. Good pace and good timings with jokers, and then obviously a little bit of luck in it there as well. You always need to, and then you
Yeah,
you
of
got a
course.
mega result. So it's really cool to have that. A shame that you didn't start in the final ever World Rallycross race. Then would have made you compete in every single one of them.
I didn't get the clean sweep, missed out on one, but I did over 100 rallycross starts. I don't know what the final count was, 115 maybe, 120, something like that.
Mm.
So I've done a lot of World Rallycross races. Now, like the World Rallycross races will be, we don't know when, if ever is going to come back, but I really hope so. In the meantime, let's catch up on some other Rallycross news because there has been two Rallycross races this year actually, but there was one in Portugal. There was a British Rallycross round this past weekend where Derek Tohill dominated the race. Maybe in the lack of Patrick O'Donovan being there this year, he's not doing the British anymore. He's focusing on the European. So, there's always the question, would Tohill have beaten Patrick? It would have maybe been a close race. Who knows? But he performed
It will
incredibly well.
always be the ifs and buts and all of these things. No matter what, it's like if you in F1, would anyone have won if Senna passed or in Schumacher didn't stop? It's all of these things, but in the end of the day, he had a great
Yeah.
weekend and won. And in Portugal, there was another incredible sold out race. Incredible to see the grandstand packed in Losada once again. Maybe it's because everyone's bored. There's no F1 kicking about, and people need to get some sort of motorsport entertainment. And Rallycross is a great place to do that. But obviously, it almost feels weird that what we're gonna do without F1 for a month and a bit. It's a strange feeling.
Yeah, maybe they get time to figure out their overtaking stuff, or maybe people to get used to how it is now. I don't know.
Tim, you
I said in
you're
the last
obviously very
episode, I'm not
against
a big
it.
fan. Yeah, but I think what I'm against is that I'm not against it as such, because when I saw the data overlay between two drivers, it was super interesting for me, motorsport nerd, to see how the energy deployment worked. But like a live spectator, you don't really understand who has more power remaining and where is the state of charge on the battery, who can deploy
All you
more or
see is more
less. It just
overtaking.
kind of
You,
happens.
as well, I think it's not bad,
But
you know?
more overtakes on the straights. I don't know. But
Yeah.
still, it's Formula One. It's the biggest motorsport, and I do follow it still. So it's not like I'm not gonna stop watching because of this. It's also fun to say something that you don't like. You know, it's a bit controversial. Running a podcast here, you got to say you're opposed to something, right? There's also been
Yeah, for
no
sure.
WRC since last episode. There's Croatia coming up next week, so let's see. Let's see if Solberg can keep delivering on his all or nothing kind of style. I
Yeah,
hope so.
exactly. And also, it's obviously a weekend where we remember Craig Breen from passing a few years ago. Um, Incredibly sad still, and he and I running a really nice, livery for him. So, he will always be missed. Shout out to him. Deeply miss that guy. It's a real shame he's not here and racing. Obviously, it's like it's gonna be a it's gonna be a weird transition. It's like COVID, no racing. And what did we do then to me? Sim racing.
Yeah, what a transition. Yeah, we did do sim racing. And how do I transition from that? I feel so
Yeah,
heavy
but you need to be
after Craig
sharper
Breen
here.
stuff.
It's you running a podcast. You need to get on the
Yeah,
responses quicker there.
sorry, couldn't move on. I was like thinking of all the things we did with Craig, like
I
with
know
his,
it's
he was driving Citroen. Yeah, rest in peace, buddy. We miss you.
yeah.
COVID, sim racing, there was a lot more racing going on. I kind of missed that. We could just like go upstairs here in the workshop and do a bit of racing. There was always something on. We had that whole championship with Rallycross. Fun fact, I won that championship. I'm a crappy video game player. You were always faster than me every time, like it's throughout our lives in video games.
Yeah,
And the one time we're in an official championship, I
it's
managed to beat you.
ridiculous.
But
It's ridiculous.
our childhood was like revolving around the video games and you and I
Yeah,
playing split screen together. Formula One, Rallycross, Rally, anything. Do you remember we had that? The ones we kind of invented the DRS system back when we were kids
we
at
did.
mom and dad's house. Because
We did.
if you were in Dirt 5, I believe the game was Dirt 5, then if we were within 1 second of each other, that was charging distance. Then it was allowed to not break into the sharp corners.
And
But if
just
you were
hit
more than
the
1 second off, yeah, just bam, massive dive bomb. That was allowed within 1 second. So
yeah.
I would say we were first of discovering that concept, although we didn't monetize it. We didn't make it
We
big.
should
We should
should
have.
have should have patented it. I think and the thing with that was that maybe the guy man was losing
Wait,
slowly. Yeah, go ahead.
that's what that that would make Formula One more interesting if they introduce the charging distance. If you're less than a second behind, you can just massive dive bomb, no
You can
penalty.
crash into the car ahead as much as you want.
It makes
That would
sense
be,
in video
would be great.
games.
Yeah, but
Maybe it will
with
be
the
more too
damage turned
expensive.
off.
They can't just restart. They should turn off damage.
Should. But
Makes sense.
we did play a lot of video games back in the days, and still haunts me to this day that you beat me in the only competitions we ever made when it actually counted it to the world. Well done. It's a great place to win the off season, to normally drive and practice. I've not done sim racing in absolute ages, but I know a lot of our
Mm.
listeners love sim racing and do that because they enjoy to get the taste of racing, and I do really enjoy doing it. I just actually don't just have a sim here.
Yeah, I also enjoy it. But what I liked, and I think why it went well for me during COVID, like I won that Rallycross championship. I won Race of Champions, the virtual one. I won like Red Bull Home Run, even though there was not like an official championship. I won most of the races. There was a lot of charging, by the way. Scott Speed took me out constantly during Red Bull
Yeah,
Home Stretch. That was the
yeah,
name
but
of
he's
the.
a prick. So
I hated him with his pink controller that he had. Everyone else was on steering wheel. Now we were playing what was the game? Gran Turismo, and he was playing with
yeah,
a pink PlayStation 5 controller and just pissing me off every single time, pushing me off every time.
he always made comments against you all the time. Your two relationship never really took off in a great way. I mean, I don't
It was,
personally enjoy Scott Speed's company. He's not the personality that I click with. Many people love him, but not not my cup of
but
tea,
I can
as we
see
would say
why
here.
he I can see why he hates me though. So it's like nothing against him for not liking me,
Of course, he
because
can.
the
You
first
know,
time we
he can
raced
hate
against each
you,
other,
and that's fine.
that's fine, and he has good reason. Let me tell you, his good reason for hating me is that I kind of completely shoved him off in Nitro World Games
Yeah,
2018
that's true.
when I ended up getting the title. It was like the worst kind of tap mid corner on his rear quarter, spun him around. The commentator said that spun speed around in this
Yeah, yeah.
cracking American accent. I won't forget that. But I didn't get a penalty for it because I was kind of squeezed, so it's not my fault. Getting
He
the
was.
excuses
You
in
were
there
not
wasn't
squeezed.
my
You
fault. It was
literally hit him. You literally just
no, yeah,
drove
but we
at
worked.
him, spun in, and then that's fine. You know, it's fine. The steward said it's
Well,
fine. So
yeah, yeah. So him and I was on the front row. I had pole position, and he outplayed me in the first corner. It was an interesting track where you could take the inside line with a jump or outside line without the jump. And he didn't take the jump and undercut me. So he got on the inside, and he pushed me wide first. He was first, and then two other cars came on the inside of me. So we were three wide behind Scott coming into the next sharp right hander, and I was trying to battle with those two. And in braking late, yeah, I hit him completely. So
what's
I
the
guess
excuse is there was some
eight
other
years
drivers
later,
around there. It's their fault.
I have good excuses. I do run the driver excuses podcast, so
Yeah,
no
we
one will
are
say
the
I don't have good
experts.
excuses.
Like you say, that's esport for everyone. There are highlights there and a few throwbacks on sidetrack. But what do we got coming up? I'm coming back to Sweden next week. Currently got a week here in the UK to go, and then back to Sweden. Not much at the moment to report. As soon as there is something more coming up, we'll let you know. Well, you got him. You got a race coming up soon, no?
Yeah, 2 weeks. I got E1 in Lake Como, so the second round of E1 World Championship in Italy is beautiful in Como. And my second race with Miami, I'm kind of rocking the Miami style. I don't know if you
I
can
can
see it
see
in the
that. I was
camera.
gonna
See the
say. Yeah, I
Miami
was gonna
cap.
say.
It's
Very
not bad,
nice.
is it? Yeah, yeah. So I do feel at home with the Miami crew in E1. Looking forward to the race. We've been preparing well. Like we were strong in the first race, but we missed out on the final. I want to convert like our performance, our speed into actually getting a podium or win. That would be epic. But yeah, we can preview that a bit more in the next episode. Obviously, we're gonna talk about that race, but boat racing is very different. It's a different way to prepare. It's a different way to work, but super enjoyable. You have to be so focused when driving the boat on the limit. You have to manage to fly it clean above the water without falling off the foils. It's so much harder than it looks on TV. I can tell you that. Single click, single timing wrong, and you lose seconds. So it's a very
It's not.
punishing championship. It's a very punishing boat.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
yeah, we're gonna go to Lake Como, get the European leg of the season started. 3 rounds here in Europe, then we go to Africa, then we go to America. So yeah, that's coming up.
Thanks everyone for listening to the Driver Excuses podcast, and we look forward to bringing you some more episodes in the future. We got some amazing guests coming on very soon, and we got some more terrible excuses or epic excuses for you as well. Thanks for listening.
Epic.
See you soon.